Hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Hospitable Hosts podcast. This podcast is where we dive into the journeys of short-term rental entrepreneurs who are making waves in the industry. Today, we're excited to welcome Dana Lynch, a short-term rental host based in Austin, Texas, with properties in Osage Beach, Missouri. Dana started her hosting journey while working full-time as a real estate closer, learning the ins and outs of the business by listening to podcasts during her 2.5-hour commute to work. Initially, she relied on a property manager, but quickly realized that communication was lacking, pushing her to take control of her business with the help of automation tools like Hospitable. Now, she's on a mission to scale her portfolio, adding 7 more properties this year. Okay, hello Dana. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So, good. I'm glad. Let's get started. So, I want to kind of talk about your journey into short-term rental hosting, obviously. So you started, short-term hosting alongside a full-time job as a real estate closer, in 2024, I think. What really initially drew you into the space, and what was the kind of that aha moment that made you kind of take the leap to, put so much time and effort into short-term rental hosting?
Well, back in 2022, I vacationed in Lake of the Ozarks. So it's a beautiful place, 92 miles of lake. So we were out on the lake and we could see miles long of condos on the lake. So I started researching them and decided that they were actually affordable. And unlike Austin, where I'm from, and so I started researching it and decided that I wanted to go ahead and purchase one because it's always been my dream to be able to live on the lake.
Nice.
But what happened was then the market went bad and rates went way up, and so I put it on hold for a while, for about a year. And then rates kind of started stabilizing. And it's sort of like our market today where people are unsure of, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? And so we went, so I decided, look, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And so I bought a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. And it's right on the water. And it was all redone, and it was actually turnkey when I purchased it. So they do a lot of turnkey properties in Lake of the Ozarks. So I purchased that, and then my aha moment was really not then, but it was 2 months later when I realized that, oh my, I could really do this long distance, and I was able to manage it and without too many hiccups. So my aha moment was, let's buy another one. So I bought another one in April of 2024. So that was really my aha moment is, okay, I can do this. So.
Nice. Awesome. And then you obviously, you've got that real estate knowledge and experience. You're close to the industry in that sense. Do you think that's really kind of helped you and kind of given you that kind of background knowledge to kind of get kickstarted?
Possibly. I do feel that I've been in real estate for over 30 years, and so just knowing the market, and that real estate is a great investment. And I had not at that time invested in any properties here in Austin. I had sold one and then was waiting to figure out what to do next. So I went ahead and purchased this one. I do think it was a great investment, and so far it's been a great investment.
Nice, awesome. And then obviously alongside being in real estate already, you've told me that you've learned a lot from podcasts, specifically on your long commutes. So we'd love to kind of hear a bit more about that, I guess, and how you kind of got into the space through learning through podcasts like Hospitable Hosts, Avery Carl, Michael Soren, and tell me more.
All right. Well, let's see. I drive 2.5 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so I started listening to podcasts to try to learn the business. And I I started listening to all kinds of different people, Avery Carl, Luke Carl, and they are the ones that got me to believe that I could do this on my own. And so I learned so much through them, and every day I learned something. Um, I I learned something yesterday about sheets. And so it's just amazing what you learn. And so I started with a different property management system. It was very difficult to work with. I thought I couldn't do this if I had to do this software because it was just too hard. And then I was listening to Luke Carl, and he talked about Hospitable. And so I switched to Hospitable, and that's what really made me wanted to go and continue. And so it was great. It was Hospitable really helps with the communication. That oh goodness, I listened to Bill Faith, and he talks about really, and so many others too, talks about you have to have your property stand out, and it can't be like the run of the mill properties. And so a 2 bedroom, 2 bath condo, how much can you really do? But I figured it out. We've installed entertainment centers with large TVs and electric fireplaces. We put electric heaters on the patios. We've put little putt-putts on the side of the decks. And so we've been able to do that kind of stuff. We've added lots of amenities to the properties. I give away a soft cooler bag that's all branded with my business name. And so I'm trying to direct that back to us, and so it's amazing what I learn every single day. Every piece of what I do today is because of these podcasts. I use dynamic pricing. I use software to use the minute where it does the noise monitoring. Because we live in a condo community, we have to be very careful not to make our neighbors angry, and to support us. So far, that's been really good. Haven't had any issues. I use extra insurance on the property for OTAs that don't have good insurance, good backing for me, or for the guests as well. So I do that. I use a software that reaches out to our clients, our guests, past guests, to try to get them back on, to direct them to our website, direct them to the direct booking site that Hospitable offers. So, and I've increased my direct bookings from 3% last year to 11% this year. So I'm hoping to do even more. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And so fantastic there. You've kind of talked us through some of the different kind of technology pieces that you use. And I think at the start of that, you kind of talked about having the wrong property manager at the beginning was kind of one of the challenges for you. Was there anything else when you were first starting out which was kind of like a big surprise or a challenge that you didn't expect to face that you've kind of had to overcome when hosting?
Yeah. So when I first bought my first property, my realtor recommended this property manager. And so I started with the property manager. Honestly, when I bought the property, I wasn't really even thinking about short-term rentals. But then I thought, okay, well, maybe I could do it for, a little bit. And if it could pay for maybe 6 months of my mortgage, that would be great. That's all I really cared about. But I started with this property manager, and I paid her several $100s to start the process, and 45 days later, we still did not have the property onboarded. The communication was horrible, And that's when I thought, well, I've got, almost 45 days under my belt of podcasts. So I thought I could do this. So that's where really that started. Um, and so, and it's kind of been a blessing that it really didn't work out, to be honest. So I wouldn't be here
Nice.
today.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so glad for you that you made that decision early on, based on your learnings from the podcast and things, and you're already making it a success. It's fantastic to see.
Yep, I'm doing really good. We have I think my overall score is 4.97 on Airbnb. I've got a
Nice.
150, I think it's 156 or 58 reviews. And um, so, yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
Nice. You should be. It's good.
Yeah.
So I'd love to kind of ask you just kind of one question about Hospitable specifically. So you've already touched on it being very helpful for you, and it's kind of made the process a lot easier. Um, is there a specific kind of tool or feature that you'd really call out as like being, the biggest game changer for you in Hospitable? Like, what's the one thing that you couldn't live without as part of Hospitable?
Well, I think there's really three main things that it really does. I mean, it does a whole host of things for me, but the three main things, I think it speaks to all the different platforms on one system. And it never messes up. So, like if somebody books on VRBO, it blocks it off for the rest of the ones. Um, that's great. The direct booking site has been a great tool as well. You guys are enhancing that more and more each day, and your new features that are coming up, I'm really excited about those. Um, and and then I think the biggest thing, of course, is the communication. It's amazing how many people tell me that my communication is great, and I use at least 10 preset emails that go out to the guests um, throughout the process. And then I use any ones that I have to answer to them specifically on a question. I use your AI tool, and it's interesting. I just kind of type in, yes, you can stay an additional hour or whatever. And I just write that really quickly, and then I
Mm-hmm.
ask it to for it to rewrite it for me, and it says it so much better than I. But I don't have to think much about it. I just type it in. It's so quick. Um, it's wonderful. It's just like
Nice.
that's the biggest piece, but um, everything else you guys do too. I started co-hosting a property, so I use your invoicing. That's been wonderful. It looks very professional. In fact, they took it to their CPA and said, "There isn't anything else we need. It has it all right here." So. Let's see, it's a whole host of things that you guys do that are just it really is a game changer.
Awesome.
So,
Glad to hear that.
yeah.
So it sounds like we're helping you to kind of run your business more efficiently. You're enjoying it. You're doing fantastic on Airbnb. You're doing fantastic on direct booking. What are your goals for the coming year? Are you planning to expand even more and get more properties in your portfolio?
Yes, I that's my goal. Um, I am a real estate closer here in Austin. I plan to move to Missouri, and I would like to say I'm going to retire, but I'm not. But I like to live on the lake is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so I am trying to grow my short-term rental business. I want to do small properties. I know that everybody encourages large properties. That's where you kind of make your money, but I like the boutique, small 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom, 3 bedroom properties. I love
Hmm.
that avatar that those are, couples and small families. And um, so I really want to focus on that. I'd like to grow. My goal this year is to add on 7 more. I don't know if that's too much, but that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm currently under negotiations to purchase a property right now.
Nice.
That will be my third in Missouri, and then I'm taking on another property in August, and um, I'm co-hosting another property. So um, just slowly trying to get, because I do have a full-time job, I need to make sure that I focus on that as well.
Of course, that makes sense. Awesome. And so I think final question for you, Dana, is basically, you're doing this as, as you might say, a side hustle right now. You have a full-time job. If you were speaking to someone else that's kind of thinking about getting into short-term rentals while having a full-time job, what's kind of the one piece of advice you would give to them?
That I don't, it's not it's a hobby. It's not a hobby. I think it's a real job that
Mm,
you have to take this very seriously, that people pay thousands of dollars to go on vacation, and they're looking for a good experience. And so um, I think you need to really be educated on it. And I slowly have done that over time. And of course, I still don't know all the answers to everything, nor will I ever. But I do think you need to be educated. I think you need to reach out to people. I've reached out to people on different podcasts that have been local here, that I've met for lunch, that I've tried to get their insights. So I just think you really need to be educated to do this job, and don't take it lightly. And it is a lot of work, but it's so rewarding. It's absolutely so rewarding when somebody tells you that, you're the perfect host, and this is how Airbnb is meant to be. And when they tell you that kind of thing, it's like, okay, this is why I'm doing this, you know?
nice. I love it.
Mhm.
That sounds great. Okay, well, thank you very much, Dana. It's been fantastic speaking with you.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Hospitable Hosts podcast. And as always, please don't forget to like and share on your favorite podcast platform. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again, and listen in next time.